Razer has made a headset that doesn't have any RGB and doesn't connect to Synapse. Let's see if it's any good. This is the Razer Barracuda X wireless gaming headset. At first glance, these headphones to me look really clean. They don't have a lot of aggressive lines and angles, and for me this is the type of headset that I would wear while going out or even working out. Now the headphone cups themselves can rotate to make it easier to store on a flat surface or around your neck. It has a microphone that can be disconnected when not in use or when you don't actually need it. And it also connects to more than just your PC, but of course with a little catch, it needs to actually connect to the dongle. So it's not actually Bluetooth. Now the price of the Barracuda X is around $100 or 2,000 Rand local, and that kind of places it in the mid-tier of headphones. And if you kind of take a look at the price range and all the functionality, it is really well priced, and I can really not complain about what you get for what you're actually paying for. Now at this price range, this headset is also competing with headsets like the Corsair HS70, the HyperX Cloud Wireless 2, and even the Logitech G733. And all of them are kind of in the same price range as this one. Some of them are a little bit more expensive, but all of them are kind of in the same ballpark. So if you're looking at this price range of headset, do make sure to actually include those as well to get a more comprehensive idea of what you can get and what other headphones actually offer you. Now in the box, you'll get the wireless headset, as well as a USB-A to female USB-C extender cable, a USB Type-C charging cable, an auxiliary cable to use the headphones wired, and the 4-in-1 dongle, which is also a USB Type-C. But if you don't have a USB Type-C connection, you can always use that extender cable to connect it to a normal USB Type-A connection. Now when it comes to build quality of the headsets, they are very light, as they are mainly made out of plastic with this little metal inner piece to actually support. But even though it is mainly made out of plastic, there is zero to no creaking noises when adjusting. Even if you're doing it really aggressively, it really doesn't make any cracking noises, and the quality actually feels really good. Now the headphones themselves really sit very comfortably. The gripping force themselves really take a lot of the weight from the top of your head, making them disappear when you're actually wearing them, which is a real plus for me, as I'm not a big fan of headphones because of that weight that it actually provides on the top of your head, and it just always feels a little bit more uncomfortable than normal in-ear headphones. Now the dongle is the 4-in-1 connection, which makes it possible to connect to not only your PC, but also a PlayStation, and it works on the PS4 and PS5, as well as a Nintendo Switch and an Android device by just plugging it at the bottom USB Type-C charging port. Now I did plug the dongle into the front of the PlayStation 5 and the USB Type-C port, but the problem is that it actually then obstructs the USB Type-A port, making it unable to use, and that is the same problem when you use it on a laptop, or it could be the same problem when using on your PC, that it will obstruct the USB ports or any other port next to the USB Type-C port, making them unable to use. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this can be fixed by using the extender cable, as the extender cable is only a single USB Type-A to a female USB Type-C. So you plug the cable in and then you plug the receiver in at the other end, meaning that it won't obstruct anything else. And this is also a really good thing if you don't have USB Type-C ports for whatever reason on your motherboard because it's too old or it didn't come with one, then you can always connect it there and it will still work 100%. Now just one thing to keep in mind, that it doesn't actually auto switch your audio sources when turning on and off the headphones. So when I plugged into the PS5, I had to constantly switch between the TV audio and the headphone audio depending on which one I used, and even though I turned them on and off, they didn't auto switch. So just bear in mind that you'll have to do the manual switching, especially if you are on PlayStation. On PC, every now and then it did switch automatically, but it didn't do it always, so just keep that in mind. Now when it comes to the control of the headsets, you have your mic mute button, you have your volume scroll wheel, which adjusts the volume of the headset and not actually the device volume. You have your on and off switch, which is also used for media to play and pause and skip whatever you need to do. And then as far as charging and connection goes, after the on and off switch, you have your auxiliary in for using it in wired mode, and you have your USB Type-C, which you can use to actually charge, as well as your microphone that you can plug in and out. Now as far as mic sound goes, here's a little test to see how the mic sounds, so have a listen. So this is the microphone of the Barracuda X. This is what it sounds like without any compression, anything added on top of it. This is the
mic as you get it just plugged in. So this is going to be the general use when using it in game or on normal Discord calls. This is what it's going to sound like.
Now the sound of the headphones themselves do sound really great, but they are a little low end heavy, so you do lose a lot of clarity in the highs, but you do have a lot of low end, so it's almost like it's a bottom heavy sound. You do lose a lot of that high end. Now since the headphones don't actually connect to Synapse, changing the EQ of the headset is going to be a little bit more tricky, and you may need to actually resolve in EQing all of the sound that comes into the headphones, but it's not a deal breaker to have a low end heavy sound. It can be fixed with a little bit of effort. Now the battery life of the Barracuda X is a little harder to determine since it doesn't connect to Synapse anymore, but they are rated to last for 20 hours, which is extremely good unless you actually try and use these for very long periods of time, or you want to use them for extended periods of time without the ability to actually charge them in between. So let's say you're traveling. Now one way to actually tell the battery level is with the LED indicator. So if it's blue, it is on and it's fine. If it turns red, you are getting low, and if it starts flashing red, you are below 10%. Now another thing I wanted to mention is that since you don't get a dongle which has auxiliary in and out to send and receive audio, it does make it harder to use in multi-PC setups. So if you have two PCs for streaming or gaming or whatever you do, it's going to be hard to get all of that audio into the headphone unless you actually go through multiple apps or a single app with multiple audio routings to actually route all of that audio back into your headphone. So it can be done, it's just a little bit more difficult if you don't have that dongle. Overall, the Razer Barracuda X is a great headset for the price. The mic isn't the greatest on the market, but it definitely is good enough for general gaming, for normal Discord calls or meeting, and even starting off your content creation journey, whether that is streaming or just making YouTube videos like this. The mic is good enough to start out. Now the quality of sound really is good, even though it is a little bass heavy, and the volume wheel on the side really makes it easy to control the volume of whatever you're doing. So if scenes get a little louder or if a video is really loud, you can easily turn that down without having to go into separate menus or different settings to actually change the volume of whatever you're listening to. Another plus for me is that it really is easy to connect to any device that you want to use. It's literally a plug and play system, no installation of anything needed. You just plug it in and it works. You can listen to whatever you want wirelessly, and there's literally no hassle, no fuss. Connect and play. Now on the negative sides, the dongle is a little intrusive, so if you are not a fan of extender cables, you may need to part with one or two connections next to that USB Type-C connection. And in the case of the PlayStation, you do kind of lose the front USB port, which is a little annoying because that is the easiest one to actually charge your controller with. And if you're using this on a laptop, you could potentially lose more important USBs, especially if your laptop doesn't have a lot of USBs, then this could be a little bit of a problem. Overall, I'm a big fan of this headset. The minimal design really looks great, makes it easy to use wherever you are. It's easy to connect with one dongle, just plug it in wherever you need it and you can just listen. As well as the fact that the build quality is really great. You don't get a lot of creaking and cracking when you're adjusting it. It sits comfortably on your head. It kind of disappears when you're using it. You don't really feel it after a certain while. And all that combined really makes this a really great headset for me. And if you're looking for a headset in this price range, I would definitely recommend picking this one up, or at least giving it a solid try. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you have any questions on this headset or any other headsets, leave them down in the comment section below, or reach out to me on any of my other social media platforms. All of those links down in the comment section below. If you actually want to pick up a Razer, be sure to check out the links in the description below as well. All of the links really do support the channel, so if you want to pick one up, be sure to use one of the affiliate links below. It really helps me out, and I really do appreciate it if you guys use those links. And as always, until next time, cheers.